Hey everybody, it's Meshweaver, and welcome to this quick video on one of my favorite additions to Linux Mint. So this is something I discovered recently through Twitter, and I thought it was interesting and worth looking into, so tried it out, installed it, and I love it. It is Gnome-Pie. So let me just open up the page here. So it's developed by Simon Schneegans, or Schneegans. It's probably Schneegans. And it's a Pie menu that you can install and use in Linux Mint. Now it says GNOME because it's probably for GNOME-based environments. And I'm using Mate, so that is a GNOME base. So you could probably use it in Cinnamon. I think you can use it in Unity. I'm not sure if it's GNOME-based. I know you can use it in XFCE because basically it's a program that installs and you run. But speaking of installing, you can install it through a PPA. If I can just click on it. Click. Hello. There we go. I'm using this little extension for Chrome so I can actually browse more easily with my Wacom, which is what I'm using at the moment. Anyway, so you can install it from a PPA, so you basically just install these or run these codes in a terminal, which I just called up with a keyboard shortcut. Or you can install it from source and compile it yourself. I didn't go this route. I was kind of lazy that day, so I installed the PPA. Just wanted to try it out. Maybe I'll try installing it from source, and yeah, there's probably a few parameters that you can change by installing it from source, but I went with the PPA. It works great. You can see from that previous page, I've got a few examples of themes. Now, that's one of the things that's great about this menu, is that you can really change and customize it to fit what you want. So I can just close this down. That's Gnome-Pie in action right there. And if I open up this menu, or actually, let's start from the beginning. Once you install that program through the terminal or through the PPA or through the source code, you can find it usually in accessories. Now I'm using Mint menu, so it is in accessories, but might not be in the same spot if you're using a different environment like Cinnamon or maybe Unity or XFCE. I'm not quite sure. But yeah, you just launch it, and right now it just opens up Pi settings, the Gnome-Pie settings. But if I turn it off and I run it again, the icon pops up in the taskbar here, and you can of course go back and open up the settings, but I usually go through here, go into preferences. Now this is where it gets fun. Actually, before I do that, let's show it in action. This is the applications Pi, and each of these programs is called a slice in the settings. So yeah, this is my applications one. It's mapped to Control-Alt-A, so it's nice and easily accessible. I use quite a few of these relatively often. I open up Audacity, Kdenlive, Skype, sometimes Banshee, Shutter, gedit, sometimes Chrome, sometimes the GIMPs, or the blenders. And yeah, it really just speeds up my workload. My pen's getting too far away from the tablet. And eventually you kind of just learn where they are based on their location on the wheel. And this is especially true with my multimedia one, which I remapped. I'll talk about that in a second. And the menu always appears based on where your mouse is. So if you're down here, it'll appear down here. There's a limit, of course. You can't make it pop up in the corner here because you'd hide these two menu options. But yeah, I use this so often now, I go automatically to the right to skip and to the top to put on pause or something. So it really speeds things up for me. There's quite a few of them. I'll go over them real quick here. Alt-Tab is one I added myself, so I'll just go over the applications, which is one of the default ones if I remember correctly. When I installed this, I had Firefox, Thunderbird, and I think it was VLC maybe. I can't remember what the other one was, but there was like 2 or 3 defaults. And I added mine in, took a few out. So as you can see, I've got 18 of them here, which I counted earlier in a previous recording attempt. So I've got Chrome, Firefox, Thunderbird, the blenders, painting programs, audio, video, Skype, Banshee, all that kind of stuff. And I've got a few other menus. The Kaja one is another one I added. So this accesses my bookmarks, or the browser bookmarks anyway, your file browser. And you just put in as a group bookmarks, and that's a slice option right there. I've got a gaming one with my Minecraft, Steam, DOSBox, the main menu one, which I don't use often. I added it about a week ago, so I'm not quite used to it being here yet. But let's say if we go into System Tools, we get this nice sub-menu, so you can go into the GW package installer, which is for installing Debian packages in Mint. Configuration editor, deconf editor, another configuration editor. There's always doubles for some reason. Preferences, UXterm, Xterm, a whole bunch of things. Yeah, you can basically just browse anywhere you want. I've got these three media servers for some reason. Another one I had was Control-Z, I think. No. Session. Oh yeah, this one doesn't seem to work that well. I've tried it before, and it seems only the shutdown one works. Logout and reboot didn't work last time I tried them. So there might be a bug there, but I'm not sure. Might be just because of my own system, so that would need testing. Websites is one I added, so I'll go over that in a second. And the window ones, these are quite useful. Let's say you've got Chrome open, and it always switches to my second screen. And you want to minimize this instead of going all the way to the top or all the way to the bottom. Control-W, minimize. And it's in the top left, in the like northwest. So I always go, and it's really quick. And it really speeds things up for me, especially when I'm like video editing, and then I go over to my second screen to check Chrome. I click on it, check Twitter, and then minimize it. Goes back to Kdenlive or whatever I'm doing. So it's really nice and quick. And there's quite a few general settings as well. Let's go over these real quick. I'm saying quick a lot. So behavior, you can start Gnome-Pie on login. You can display the panel icon, which is down there. You can see it pop in and out of existence right here. You can choose themes. I've got it set to glossy because it has that nice like brushed metal look, and it's nice and round, and it's got the highlighting, resize highlighting, which I like. I've also got that on Docky, actually. Let me just bring Docky over here just to compare. Click and drag to reposition. Let's put it over here. Yeah, you get this in Docky as well. So it resizes the icons and highlights them, and you get this in Gnome-Pie. So that's really nice. I'll put Docky back over there on my second screen. There we go. And there are quite a few themes. The Adwaita one is more similar to like a standard Mate theme. I've got mine to Mint Z, modified one, but it's fairly similar, so if you want something matching, that could work. There's another one kind of similar. I think it's Bright. Yeah, that's kind of similar. There's quite a few of them. Funky's got this little spinny star and dots thing going on. Elementary is still a bit more basic. You get only the icons themselves. Whoops, it's Elementary. Slim, Opie, Minimalistic, Unity. I don't like Unity, so I never use this one. So I stick to glossy. And you can also choose the global scale, which is how big it is on your screen. My personal favorite is 1.3, but it can go all the way up to 2, and then it gets kind of huge. And it's got a cutoff for some reason. Oh, there we go. Just have to readjust. And it kind of overlaps into the top of the screen because it's that big. So I really don't like it that big. It's kind of bigger than my head. And you can also display slice labels. Now, slice labels are the names of each of these little slices. And I don't like that, to be honest. I turn it off because it just gets really busy for me. So I just turn it off, and it just leaves the text in that center hub bubble thing here. So that's how I've got it set up. But yeah, it's quite customizable. And in the themes as well, you can actually add themes, as far as I know. I haven't. I just stuck with the defaults. But remember there being something I think on his page, Simon Schneegan's, about being able to add themes. But anyway, onto the configurable tabs. Now I added these, not tabs, pies. I added these, a couple of pies like Alt-Tab, Kaya, or Kaja, Gaming, websites. Those are ones I added myself. So let's say Alt-Tab. Now I found the standard Mint Alt-Tab to be rather bland and gray, so I added this one. So I now press Ctrl-Alt-E, and I get this nice pie menu for selecting between the open windows. And I've got my my inbox on my second workspace here, my Thunderbird inbox. But that's one of them, and you basically just add in a pie slice. And in this case, you want group window list. Let's say I add this one. There are no options for this slice type because it emulates Alt Tab. So whoops. Well, that worked. I'm pressing Alt Tab instead of Control Alt E. So now, however, I get two of them because I'm telling it to switch twice. So I really want to delete this slice like it asked, and I just want one of them. So now back to this Alt Tab, but it's got this nicer look to it that I prefer. So the Kaja one, or Kaya, I'll just say Kaja. This one is linked to group bookmarks. So that's a directory of bookmarks that is in your file browser. Now I've got a few of them, and it also links to your actual home folder subfolders like videos, pictures, that sort of thing. And I don't use this one super often, but it's useful for going to desktop wallpapers, which is one I use often. I've got quite a few of them. Just close this. So that's really useful to have around. The thing is, I prefer just pressing the My Computer button on my keyboard. It's a lot faster for me. But I have it around just for certain things. Gaming I added myself, so it's Control Alt G, because that's what I mapped it to. I've got Minecraft, I've got Steam, I've got DOSBox. The main menu is another one. I don't use it that often. Did I already go over main menu? Yes, I did. Session is one that was in. That was already a bit weird. The websites, that's another one I added. Now this one, I added this earlier in a previous recording attempt, so I'll do that again. But the nice thing about this one, I had to map it to Control Alt R, because Control Alt W was already taken up by the window controls. So this one, if I choose up blender.org, it's going to switch to my second screen again. There we go. So that opens up nice and quick. I've got it set to a few websites I use often, like say Blender Cookie. Let's do a bit of a promotion for them, because they are awesome. And it opens up, and because my internet's slow, it's kind of slow anyway. But the shortcuts themselves, they're nice and snappy. So let's add a new one actually, just to see how we added a slice. So whenever you hover between the already added icons, even in the applications one, you have to hover between them. Get this little plus icon. Let's add it right there. And you can see we've got quite a few options like group bookmarks, devices, main menu, session control, that sort of thing. Open Pie, so you can open another pie through a pie, kind of like what the main menu does, the main menu pie, because these are sub pies. And you can press a hotkey. So let's say I wanted, I think I have it set up in the applications actually. No, okay, I got it set up like that. But you can set it up to basically press a keyboard combination. Where's my settings? But the one we're looking for is open URL. And you can also use this to open files actually, like the Minecraft launcher in the Gnome-Pie. That one's a jar file, so I had to use the open URL, see if URLs are file paths, so I had to use that. But in this case, we're going to call this Google+, like earlier, in my previous recording attempts. And in this case, sometimes you need the HTTPS, sometimes you don't, but in this case, it seems you need it, so put that in, HTTPS, whatever that is, and plus.google.com, so you just enter that URL. I'm not quite sure what quick action is supposed to do, but I don't need it for any of these so far. And let's choose an icon. You can choose a custom icon or one that's already set up. So let's look for Google. There's one in here. Let's choose that one. And it gives us a nice icon, and we confirm it. There it is. So we can move these around afterwards, click and drag. Over here on the left, you can kind of rotate it for some reason. It's not quite... I wish you could just have a control to just slide things around instead of moving the icons around to rotate it, but oh well. So now if we close this down, because we don't need it, and we go to our websites, Google+, boom, it loads. Oh, there goes my phone. Just a second. There we go, sorry about that. So as I was saying, if we open up this Google+ thing, like I just showed, it's really responsive. You can basically add any website you want. You can add shortcuts, you can add keyboard combinations, you can add file paths. It's really quite customizable, and to be honest, that's one of the things I love about Linux Mint. It's, at least in my experience, a lot more customizable than Windows, even like Windows 7, which I like a lot. But just the fact, like, just for instance, I know it's a bit off topic, but just the fact that you go into preferences and you have a menu specifically for keyboard shortcuts, and you can customize them all. That right there is one of my favorite things. These are a few of my favorite things. Sound of music. But yeah, that's this little application. I'm really glad I found out about it. I think I mentioned I found it through Twitter already. That's probably the third time I've mentioned it. But yeah, I definitely recommend checking it out. I know it says GNOME, but it might work in other environments. It might work in Fedora, I think, maybe if you compile it from source. I'm really not sure. I've only used Ubuntu-based systems so far. So like Ubuntu Studio, Ubuntu 12.04 on my laptop, Linux Mint. And Linux Mint is kind of based like on both Ubuntu and Debian anyway, so you can install both Ubuntu and Debian packages, so it's a bit more flexible in that respect. But I think Fedora can as well, so I'm probably just babbling here, talking without really knowing what I'm talking about. But yeah, anyway, I definitely recommend this little application. It's seriously awesome. It sped up my workflow quite a bit, especially with multimedia and launching certain specific applications like Audacity. I launch through here all the time. Gedit is a bit strange because I have to click it twice all the time. Like, it doesn't want to pop up the first time. I don't know why. I have to look into that. It does that with the start menu sometimes as well. But anyway, that's basically it. Go check it out. I'll put the link in the description below. So yeah, thanks for watching, and see you next time.